Chapter 9, Chemical Bonding, Version 1, the Lewis model. So AIDS has been a big problem since the 1980s. And back in 1989, the structure of HIV protease was determined, and this was a big breakthrough. HIV protease is a protein synthesized by HIV, and if you can shut down the production of that protein, you can stop the AIDS virus in its tracks. So researchers, knowing the structure of the protease, were able to design several different molecules that can disable it by binding to the active site. It's an enzyme, and so there's an active site, and if you stick something in there that blocks the active site, it can't do what it's supposed to do. It's a little bit like, jamming a piece of metal into the lock, right? You can't get the key in anymore. It doesn't work. It's just stuck. So how did they do this? Well, they used bonding theories to simulate the shapes of potential drug molecules and figure out how they would interact. So we can do this on a computer and then see what might work and then try it out for real. So these are called protease inhibitors. They don't cure HIV, but they can reduce the viral levels to undetectable. And so essentially the person is, I guess you could say, in remission, but they still have to take the inhibitor to keep it that way. So bonding theories explain how atoms bond together to form molecules. Explains things like questions like, why are some molecules stable and others are not? And they also help us to predict the shapes of molecules, and that shape determines a lot of chemical and physical properties. There are several different models, and as is often the case, there are trade-offs. So you can have a more simple theory that's easier to understand, but then it doesn't give you as much information. Or you can get a really, really complex theory, gives you lots of information, but it's really hard to understand. So we've got this trade-off. So we're going to talk about a couple of different bonding models. The first one is the Lewis model. So it's the simplest, the most straightforward, works for a lot of things. So in the Lewis model, we represent valence electrons as dots. And so the structures here are often referred to as Lewis electron dot structures. It's a very simple model and gives us the ability to quickly predict shapes of molecules, and if the molecule is likely to be stable or not.